Welcome back to Tama Anime Review, special number 6. Yeah, I had to correct a typo of the last 3 specials for this one. Yeah, I indirectly called them specials 8 and 9. That was not true. I fixed them. Yeah, that's how this one pretty much is basically the 6th one. Yes, this is a review of the final chapter. Yes, this is definitely the final chapter of the Gintama manga, which is chapter 704. Nobody with a perm is a decent guy. Chapter starts out with Katsu in the control center of the terminal, which is simply basically collapsing. You also see Kentoki. We see also Sodako. Yeah, it makes his first appearance in a little while. Yeah, this is the three part. This is the part 3 of the 3-part finale for this particular series. You see Ubuzuru. He just basically, well, in his sensei form, he just basically wandering around the place, tearing the place up. By the way, the main antagonist for most of the series, yeah, he's dead. Yeah, he's definitely dead. Yep. So you have Sheen, Kagura, and Sheen's sister, along with Subaru, just standing around until they basically. Oh my god, of course, Subaru looks like he's about to bite Kagura's head. Like he has heads they do, like bite people's heads. Then he decides not to do it. And they all just go with the teacher, with Subaru, and Gintoki basically try to get out of the collapsing place. And we see the. we see I'm trying to remember these people's names. We have Saratobi. Yep. We have the leader of the rival organization to the Muragumi, which is led by currently Nobu. hmm And we also see in this scene Yago. Yeah, she's in here. hmm Yeah, and the leader of the assassins from that particular place. Let's see if we can find him here. Find her name here. Yeah, a lot of the other characters, like pretty much like almost every character who appeared in the series, basically has appeared in this particular chapter. hmm Okay, yeah. Tatsuo. Yeah, she appears in the scene, and she's basically interacting with people. Yeah, she's with basically a woman who's rival for her affections for Kentoki. Yeah, Nobu is not in love with Kentoki. Nope. They all talk for a while, and of course they all basically decide just to smash the place while the place is trying to collapse. The Gui make an appearance, and they do good amount. They basically help Kentoki get out of the place. Katsuo basically just stands there with his katana, and they all race out of the place. Everyone's like racing, running. Basically, Kentoki nearly falls, but he's saved by Sheen's beautiful sister, who, by the way, is a terrible cook. Yep, he's able to get out of the place pretty easily, and of course, thanks to the sacrifice of his teacher, he was able to basically. Of course, teacher finally died. Well, teacher finds alongside with, well, Kentoki's basically apprentices, Sheen and Kagura, and able to basically smash the place and basically kind of destroy the terminal. Again! Yeah, it's the second time in the series. I wake up, kind of looks like in the future, we see Tama waking up. Yes, Tama apparently has restored to normal. And we see Tama too, the adorable little daughter of Tama. And rumored possibly that the robot who looks like Gintoki but is a blonde might be the father, but they're both robots. Yep, so they see that Edo has become Tokyo, and it's pretty much become a futuristic city. Like, wow, it is so futuristic. hmm Yeah, it looks like the way it's drawn in the scene, it looks like something out of freaking Blade Runner. Yes, that's not a joke. That's seriously what the place looks like. I know it was a glare, but yeah, that's what the place looks like. It looks like a place of freaking, like, either Blade Runner or Star Trek, the reboot films. We see Catherine and the Otaki, the granny. Yeah, they're there. hmm And everyone's coming home, and they all come to basically the odd jobs place. And well, Shane sits at Gein's desk, like Gein's probably not there. And apparently Gein is apparently hiding in the desk because he slipped on vomit. And then Kagura's like, don't intrude in a lady's room. It's so funny. Yeah, and of course everyone's like so tired, and we see Subaru, who is basically biting down like usual on Gein's head because that's what he does. Yeah, he bites on everybody's heads. We see the old lady still smoking. Yeah, she smoked the entire series. Almost every scene she's in, she's always smoking a lot of the time. And come down to her place, eat some rice. Of course, Catherine has aged like wow. Even though it's only been like a few years, like when like 3 years, like a year after the previous one. Yeah, she's basically aged, basically middle aged, become an old lady. Oh yeah, by the way, this woman never married. Nope, never married. She tried to get married, but turns out the guy trying to marry her basically was there for her money. And we see Kagura's basically father, who is just say, okay, because you're going, like, they told us talk about a joke about the fact he's going bald, and apparently he's basically trimmed out his beard to basically a goatee. It's like, well, the terminal's being rebuilt, and Princess Sasayu, the Shogun's sister, has now become new prime minister of the country with Nobu, a character who a lot of people point out, though, looks exactly like Akame from Akame Ga Kill, except she's taller than Akame, and she does have one thing in common aside from her appearance, and aside from the fact she looks like her, the fact he has a fetish for particular food. For Akame, it's meat. Her, it's frickin' donuts. Though she even burned it off pretty quickly because she works out. Yep. And like everyone's like, and they mentioned like Zerump, yes, which I pointed out that was probably the writer's attempt to do a parody of Donald Trump because he's the current president, by the way. Yeah, though the stuff they say about him is half of it is complete bullcrap. Yeah, I'd rather not get into a political debate about President Trump because, well, I may disagree with a lot of people of how people tend to feel about Trump and how popular he might be. Though at least that he has actually said he's actually done stuff he said he was going to do when he first ran for president. I was praising him for that. See, Azura is basically wearing an Elizabeth mask for some reason. I have no idea why this is. Yeah, it's like the departed spirit. Possibly died in the end of this chapter, but you don't see his body. It looks like he's alive. Of course, I've talks for a while, and of course, there's common jokes about the scam about the final chapter. See all the characters what they're up to. The Shinsengumi basically back to what they're doing before, except they're basically regular police force again. Yeah, and apparently that Sheen's sister basically has accepted. The way it's shown here is that she has accepted his feelings for her, despite the fact that Shin wants nothing to do with him at all. Yeah, he is a guy who is like, and he's a Henda Shinsengumi, and he chases a teenager. Yeah, though she's 18 years old, so it's perfectly legal. And then we see that Sogo and Gin basically very close friends. Well, they became close friends due to, well, originally him posing as Shogo's friend, and after her sister's death, they became really good friends. And we see Shinzaguna basically out, says, like, yeah, so a new series? Yeah, that goes no place. Yeah, I have no idea if they're going to do one. Yeah, they're doing about the whole thing of the ending chapter scam. Then we see that Tatsugumi, who is based on a real life person, that he's in command of the Shinsengumi. Yeah, this guy actually is based upon the real life leader. So here he's the deputy, he's the vice chief. And he does this whole mayonnaise thing because he has an obsession with mayonnaise. Like, my gosh, it is like a very common obsession with freaking mayonnaise. And the woman who was in love with him, Sogo's sister, she had a thing for tobacco sauce, which indirectly caused her death. Yep, and apparently that Yogoro has apparently become a cabaret girl and serves food on a katana. I was like, what? Really? And we see that apparently that Saratobi has apparently started sucking on Gintoki's sword. And she does this for a couple panels, and Gintoki gets it back. And then she has, like, other things in her mouth. Yep. Like, everyone's, like, walking by. We see Kagura's idiot brother, who's crazy. Yep. We see Sakura basically starting his business again. We see his beautiful first mate, who it's hints at the whole series he might be attracted to her, but it goes nowhere. Yep. We see one of the members of Kaientai, the group that the original antagonist of the series was leader of. Yeah, he's here. The girl who's part of the group, yeah, she's nowhere in this chapter. You have the blonde haired girl who is in love with the leader. Yeah, she is nowhere in this chapter. Just him. He's the strategist of the group. And as for the other two, they are nowhere to be seen in this whole chapter. Yeah, never explain what happened to them. It's like, oh, they're still around somehow. We see Zura wearing his lizard mask, and of course you have Gin in his office. And of course, they've been crying over various stuff. And of course, Gin wearing his attire he wore basically post time skip. Yeah, he's had this thing where he's got updated look. He's got fingerless gloves. He's more confident than he was before the time skip. They're all at their father's grave. The Shinsegun basically walking about. We see the inventor. See him for a quick cameo. Why not? Because it's the final chapter. We see the gang leader who was part of that previous group. We see the leader. We see various characters make various cameos. Even the sword woman from the background sword arc. This is her third appearance in the series, and it's always great to see characters who have shown up. Like she hasn't shown up since that uh, arc when they tried to destroy Gentoki's house. Yeah, that was the last time she showed up, along with Tatsumi, the female firefighter. And it's hinted they became friends or something else. It's never fully developed upon. Matter of fact, the female firefighter is nowhere in this chapter. Yeah, one of many characters not appearing in this final chapter. Basically, various characters like Sora basically is back to business. He's basically back in business. Everyone's like doing their own thing. We see it looks like possibly the house, is still there, even though it's like about a few years in the future. I'd say about a year later. And then we see this idiot who's here is like, okay, he apparently is still unemployed, though I got a job. He doesn't. Yeah, this guy's been employed since his debut. Well, he got basically unemployed due to, well, punching a foreign. He basically punched the prince in the face. He got fired, and anytime he tried to get a job, he ends up getting fired like really quickly. He's made pretty much unemployed the whole series. He has this thing where he's all, despite the fact he's always wearing various clothes over the course of the series, he's always kept his cool sunglasses that he basically got. Like, oh yeah, you doing a final chapter scam too? Yep. They're there with Tama and Tama Jr. Well, Tama 2. And the course chapter ends basically who are the recruits, aka odd jobs, and of course, the final text of this chapter is a thank you from the writer of the series. Thank you, 15 years of basically awesomeness. The final volume will go on sale August 2nd in Japan with a mass of 360 pages. And some time left. The final and largest character book going to go on sale, lots of new drawings, and that's it. Overall, this was a good chapter. Nice wrap up for the series. Kind of wish they would explain what happened to some other characters. I mean, some people just basically going back to basic business as usual. I mean, it looks like, though, that after the events of the first portion of the chapter, it looks like that I'd say about 2, maybe 3 years may have passed by since the events of, well, the ending portion when they finally had their final battle. Yeah, because Tokyo, well, Edo's become Tokyo, and it's become so futuristic. Like, it's like the writer of the series basically based upon his Tokyo on Blade Runner. Yeah. But this was a pretty good ending to the series, but my gosh, this chapter was really freaking long. You wanna know how long this chapter was? 59 pages! Yes, it's been a while since I've ever counted a chapter that long. I mean, I think like the last time I saw it was that length. I think it was like a chapter. I think it was either One Punch Man or I think it was like Attack on Titan. They actually had a chapter that was this length. Like wow, like so freaking long. Yep. Well, it was a good chapter. I kind of wish they would explore like what happened to various other characters. It seems like though, despite the fact there's been a time skip like a few years in the future, everyone's basically back to business. I mean, there are a few other characters. They don't explain what happened. I mean, you had the female firefighter. They don't explain what happened to her. The other male cabaret guys. They don't really explain what happened to them. Maybe they're still in business. Who knows? The group that, well, Sheen's beautiful sister Tamako was is part of. Yeah, she basically is going back to be a cabaret girl, and she's very successful at it. hmm Though she's also got the woman who's in love with her. To well, okay, Toei's her name. Yes, Toei. Yeah, she she of course like becomes successful as a cabaret girl. I think she may have taken over this particular cabaret girl business, and she hired like Sarah Toby, and she hired like Yaga, the woman who's in love with her. Yeah, it's kind of weird though. You have a woman who basically says she's a man, though the reason why she's like that is because that's how she was raised. Yeah. By the way, her father and grandfather do not show up in this chapter. As a matter of fact, these two don't even show up in this arc. Yeah. But do I think that the anime may come back? I hope it does, just to finish at the last, like, well, they did adapt like halfway through chapter, I think it was like 685. They got relatively about, I think about 18 and a half chapters left. I mean, that's good enough for about a good 10 episode season. Yeah, but in the case of this one, they might basically split this up. I don't think they're gonna. If they adapt this particular chapter, they're probably gonna have it split up into about, I'd say about a three-parter. Yep. I mean, the amount of material you have here for these pages, this is equivalent to about maybe like a 12 episode season, maybe 13 episodes, but who knows? It depends upon whenever the anime does come back, because there's still, like, according to the ending of the last episode that came out last year, according to, yeah, it might come back, but who knows? And it all depends upon, well, what the studio wants to do. It's no longer Sunrise. Yeah, Sunrise stopped doing the series after like a few seasons. I have no idea why in the world that they decided to stop not dubbing, making the series. Yeah, so the series has got a humongous reputation of like basically going frequent hiatuses for the time. Well, no actual explained reason for this. The actual explained reasoning for the show going hiatus so quickly is so frequently over the course of the anime's history is because they keep catching the manga way too quickly. Yeah, that thing with this particular series. Original by Sunrise, and then I think they actually switched it up for some reason. Yeah, I think like the whole series made by Sunrise. Yeah, the same series, same company that made Gundam. Yep, the same studio. Well, yeah, they made Sunrise, and then basically Bandai took over for episode 2664. So yeah, roughly about two studios. Yeah. So, hmm that's particularly it for this particular review. I have one more review coming, and that'll be a review of the seventh James Bond film released. Another movie review. Yep. But until this next review, bye.